So there's been some talk that the masks are insufficient and maybe they're a waste of time. I want to kind of clarify that just a little bit. So there's some alleged Facebook post by a surgeon allegedly about the size of the viral particles and what the mask can stop. It's true that the virus is much, much smaller than what a mask could stop, but that's assuming that the virus in its own inherent form is wafting in the air and is able to get through the woven layers of a mask. And so that is a possibility if the virus can become aerosolized without a respiratory droplet carrying it. But what we know is the grand majority of these viruses are carried by respiratory droplets, and those are much, much larger than a virus particle itself and much more likely to be caught by a woven mask. And when I say a woven mask, these are your homemade masks. These are your non-N95 masks, which are made from a melted polymer. So if you have a woven mask, just think of it like a basketball net. And if that basketball net, you take a small little pebble and throw it at that basketball net, chances are it's going to go right through that net. But there is a possibility that it could hit one of those strands and it could get knocked back. And if you have enough of those basketball nets kind of put together, the chances of a tiny particle getting through there become much, much less. So that is to say, if you're wearing a cloth homemade mask, the more layers are associated with that, the less likely a virus particle is to come in and out. But bear in mind, the grand majority of what we know about this virus is that it's spread through respiratory droplets and that it's not airborne or aerosolized. So if the respiratory droplets are the main vector by which it's spread, then those masks are far more likely to catch those respiratory droplets. Now, from that Facebook post that was shared with me, the latter part of that post had some validity in terms of advising people not to touch their masks. So if these respiratory droplets are caught in the mask and you're constantly fidgeting with your mask, now you got hands that are carrying what we call fomites or infectious particles. So you really need to be careful as you get out and mind your daily interactions now to wear your mask and try very hard not to touch or play with your mask. And if you do, to clean your hands. And that would be my advice for the day.